Right now on Arkansas Crime Watch, a 31-year-old cold case.
She did not deserve to die like this.
How this daughter is making it her lifelong mission to find whoever killed her mother. Accused of making meth on campus.
I've added more charges against you. How are you feeling about those allegations?
No comment.
Two former Henderson State University professors proclaim their innocence. The hunt for Brian Freeman, day 2.
We got 20 cadaver dogs from across the U.S. that are the top of the line. So if he's here, we're going to find him.
A Crime Watch exclusive as U.S. Marshals search for the remains of a wanted Arkansas fugitive.
Through 75 counties and hundreds of investigations, from the most violent crimes to petty infractions. This is Arkansas Crime Watch with Kevin Kelly.
We begin this evening with a 31-year-old cold case involving a woman who was brutally murdered in East Little Rock. Decades later, there's still no arrest. Good evening and thanks for watching Arkansas Crime Watch on Fox16.com. I'm Kevin Kelly. Tonight, the victim's daughter, who was only an infant at the time of the crime, is making it her mission to help authorities track down her mom's killer. Stephanie Sharp taking a closer look at the case file that's hundreds of pages long.
Here's the street.
Looking back in time, Erica Brown Killian using her own investigative work to try to solve her mom's murder.
I need answers. My kids need answers.
The case file shows on January 1989, Anita Shell's throat was cut and she was left for dead in East Little Rock. Erica was only 3 months old when her mom was killed.
She did not deserve to die like this.
Little Rock police investigated this case that has eventually turned cold over the decades.
If I can just shine enough light long enough, maybe the ice will start to melt.
Erica taking matters into her own hands. She got the case file from police and it's been going through it. It shows the crime scene, even the shoes Shells was wearing when she was murdered. Erica believes this case is solvable.
People can run, but I just want justice for my mom. Somebody has to know something.
She plans to sit down with cold case investigators or someone who can help her.
In my eyes, no justice, no peace.
She says there will forever be a hole in her heart until her mom's case is solved.
I've always wanted whatever happened to come out from as early as I can remember.
Again, this is a 30-year-old cold case, and despite all the time that has passed, Erica does believe someone knows something. If you can help, contact Little Rock Police. Turning to a crime report, the Columbia County Sheriff's Department investigating a car fire as a double homicide. The coroner's office has identified the victims as 41-year-old Jermillion Daniels and his wife, 53-year-old Janice Daniels. Deputies say they were dispatched to a car wreck around 12:20 Monday afternoon. Dispatch stated the first caller indicated it was a single car accident with no injuries. But about 15 minutes later, another caller stated the car was on fire with 2 people inside. Both of the victims appeared to have gunshot wounds. Their bodies were sent to the state crime lab. Little Rock police arrest a man wanted for murder. U.S. Marshals took this man into custody, Leander Moore, on a first-degree arrest warrant in Hensley, Arkansas. Marshals say he shot and killed Reginald Moore last September. The two are not related. Reginald Moore was found on the ground with a gunshot wound on Burton Drive. He was taken to the hospital but died the next morning. Leander Moore is being held at the Pulaski County Jail. A Crime Watch update on 2 former Henderson State University professors accused of making meth at the school. The pair in court earlier this week claiming they're innocent during their formal arrangement. Our Susan L. Corey recaps what happened at the hearing.
Holding his wife's hand, chemistry professor Terry Bateman didn't take questions.
No comment.
Walking into Clark County District Court to answer the accusations that he made meth inside a Henderson State University lab.
They've added more charges against you. How are you feeling about those allegations?
No comment.
His alleged partner in crime, Bradley Rowland, was already waiting inside and turned away when he spotted our camera. Both pled not guilty as they were formally arraigned on felony drug charges. This comes a couple months after the pair was arrested. Each are now accused of having ingredients and the equipment to cook meth, on top of doing that in a school that's supposed to be a drug-free zone. Leaving court, Bateman's lawyer made it clear they're just starting the fight.
Have to see all the facts and all the evidence that's in the case, and we'll be able to know how to proceed further at that point.
Rowland decided to keep quiet.
Are the accusations against you true? Do you have anything to say to the students at Henderson?
Both men are due back in court in April. If found guilty, they could be fined and possibly sentenced to life in prison. Turning now to a crime tracker update. The Jacksonville Police Department makes an additional arrest in connection to an arson turned homicide. 34-year-old Terry Ray Peterson Davis and 27-year-old Jessica Buchanan were booked into the Pulaski County Jail earlier this week. Both face charges of arson, abuse of a corpse, and tampering with physical evidence. Police say they helped 33-year-old Racio Barber and 34-year-old Norris Williams buy gasoline and start the apartment fire on South Redmond Road. Once the flames were extinguished, investigators found the body of 48-year-old Murphy Atkins. The medical examiner determined he was shot in the head. The former 911 coordinator for Van Buren County appeared in court for a pretrial hearing earlier this week following his September arrest for child porn possession. Taylor Fisher faces several charges. According to court documents, he used his father's IP address to download child porn. Fisher told investigators he engaged in this type of behavior for 15 years. No word yet on when his next court date might be. An arrest made in a year-old homicide case out of Pine Bluff, and the judge has ruled there is enough evidence to go to trial. Terry Gray was arrested in connection to the shooting death of 22-year-old Amanda Lee. He's now facing a capital murder charge, meaning he could face the death penalty if he's found guilty. The victim was sitting in a car near a gas station on Camden Road when she was shot. Another man in the car was injured. Authorities said surveillance video of the shooting was key in making this arrest.
Fiancé inside her Ward, Arkansas home.
Ultimately, he stabbed Lori Hanna in the neck.
Nearly 3 years later, U.S. Marshals launch an all-out search to find the remains of her killer.
I'm fully convinced he's dead. It's just the point of finding him now.
Or any of his personal belongings.
It is the style he would have worn, and it is the size that he would have worn, it looks like.
Tonight, a Fox 16 exclusive as U.S. Marshals hunt down Brian Keith Freeman.
Finding a wanted fugitive dead or alive is always a priority for U.S. Marshals. That's certainly the case when it comes to Brian Keith Freeman. After countless dead ends of trying to find him alive, Marshals returned to Royse City, Texas, where Freeman last ditched his truck and then told a friend over the phone he was going to kill himself. Was it a hoax, or did he actually do it? Tonight, part 2 of my Crime Watch exclusive report as U.S. Marshals return to Ground Zero to search for what they need to finally close this case.
Day 1 kicks off bright and early with one final briefing.
And the canine elements will rotate out, right? So the idea is that we can keep fresh dogs on the ground.
Deputy Jeremy Hammonds gears up, determined to locate this man. Brian Keith Freeman, a wanted Arkansas fugitive accused of killing his ex-fiancée Lori Hanna inside her Ward home back in 2017.
We've got the best of the best out here. We've got 20 cadaver dogs from across the U.S. that are the top of the line. So if he's here, we're going to find him.
After a quick roll call,
Jay Rim.
The teams are deployed to their assigned locations.
Hey, this is Jeremy from Alpha Team.
We head to an area just off Record Ranch Road. Joining us, an anthropologist from the University of North Texas, and Skylar, our cadaver dog.
We are ready to go, kid, as soon as we get a navigator.
The terrain to be covered, tough to navigate. There's thick mud, water from streams, and thorny bushes that cling to your every move. The search area covers about 5.7 square miles, and it's been broken up into a number of grids. There are roughly 30 primary grids and about 60 secondary grids. We're in P3 right now. So far, the only thing we've been able to find are bones that belong to a coyote. After coming up empty, we move on to the next grid.
There you go. There you go. You're clear.
Deputy Hammonds cautiously optimistic.
Based on what he said he had done, I'm just thinking it's going to be that portion of woods there.
You think that's where he went?
That's if I had to bet.
So we head into the thick brush once again.
It's definitely got my interest piqued.
An hour later, our cadaver dog alerts in a small stream. And less than 15 yards away, a boot is found near a tree.
It is the style he would have worn, and it is the size that he would have worn, it looks like.
Using latex gloves, Deputy Hammonds empties it.
Steel toes, that's what he wore. He was in construction, so.
Hoping a human bone is found inside so a DNA match can be run. But nothing is found. The size and appearance of the boot, strikingly similar to one Freeman is seen wearing in this photo from years past. The area is flagged and marked on GPS so other teams can take over and examine the potential evidence.
I'm going to stand by until we get others out here to look at it.
We move on deeper into the unknown, scanning the ground for anything that looks suspicious. A few hours later, another team discovers an old shirt found in a creek bed.
Found a shirt? Yeah, a shirt, I should say.
But time is now working against us. As the sun sets, day one comes to an end, with no confirmed evidence that Freeman ended his life in this area.
One interesting side note, while we were out in the woods searching for Freeman's remains, tips came in from citizens in Royse City claiming he was alive. One lady called saying she saw him at a local bar the night before. The following morning, a waitress claimed she served him breakfast and that he went by the name Joe. Marshals did follow up and quickly determined both tips were false alerts. 24 hours later, we did return to the dense woods for one last attempt to locate Freeman's remains, but once again, we hit a dead end. On day 3 of the search, rain moved in, and that's when Operation Backtrack was called off. Deputy Hammonds telling me he was disappointed nothing was found, but also called the operation a success because he can now confirm that Freeman did not kill himself in these woods. So, is the search over? Not by a long shot. Freeman says he and his team will regroup and start over. He also told me that his #1 goal before he retires in 13 years is to make sure the Freeman case is no longer on his desk. Tonight's Mug of the Week goes to Zachary Tyler Allen, who was booked into the Garland County Jail. The 19-year-old facing a number of charges, including failure to appear, fleeing on foot, and violating his probation bond for all 3 charges, totaling $4,000. As we leave you, here's a look at Arkansas's most wanted. We do want to remind you all of the suspects you've seen tonight are innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. Remember, if you have any information on any of these cases we talked about tonight, you're asked to call your local police department. Thanks for watching Arkansas Crime Watch. I'm Kevin Kelly. Be smart, be safe, and if you see something, say something. I'll see you tomorrow night on Fox 16 News at 9.